What's up, everyone? We out here yet again. Buff Missionaries back with another video, talking primarily on mental health, but I'm gonna be relating it to something else as well that I really enjoy, and that is the Spartan race. Now, I'm gonna tell you a little story about what got me in the Spartan race. It was the middle of a week. I was on a canvassing trip, a little outpost week, whatever, and one of my good buddies, Hassan, ends up hitting me up on like a Tuesday or a Wednesday, and he says, "Hey man, you down to do this Spartan race?" And I said, "Yo, what's a Spartan race?" And he ends up showing me the website, talking about it's like running, but with all these obstacles, you get to test your strength, and I'm all in. I was totally down for something like that. The only problem was that it was going to be happening that same weekend, within the next 3 to 4 days. Hadn't trained. I'm not really a fan of running, even though the obstacle part really got me. But I signed up anyway, and we did it. And let me tell you, when I got across the finish line, not only, well, let me say this first, not only was my time for that, 3 to 4 mile race embarrassingly long, but my legs were completely cramped up. When I got across the finish line, all I could do was lay in the mud. And that Spartan race in Atlanta was the muddiest one I've ever done so far. Absolute muck. And all I could do was lay in that mud for felt like 10 minutes or so before I could get up, before my legs felt like they wanted to respond again. Seriously, quads, hamstrings, my shins were cramping, the fronts and the backs of everything, my feet, man. It was horrible, but I was hooked. Couldn't get enough and was looking for the opportunity to do it again. Now you fast forward, and I ended up finding out about this whole thing called the trifecta, where you complete, there are 3 basic races, the staple lengths, the sprint you have, which is a 5K, you have the super, which is about a 10K, and then you have the beast, which is 21K. We're talking 3 miles, around 6 to 7 to 8 miles, and then anywhere from 12 to 14 miles in these races. And that's a lot of running. I don't mind the obstacles, but the running, that's something else. But it had to be done. I was hooked. I was in, so it had to be done. And 2020 was going to be the year where I finally got the trifecta done. Of course, COVID happened, so I had to back it up. And last year, I had my opportunity and got it done. I got the hardware to prove it. Let me show you a little something real quick here. Man, I love the way this thing looks. I don't know if you can focus in on that. But yeah, you got the Spartan, the super, and the beast here. That's 2021 immortalized. And here's 2022, at least the beginning of it. Got my sprint here, got my super there. And the reason I say it's the beginning of it is because I'm not just going for one sprint this year, one super this year, and one beast this year. I'm not just going for one trifecta this year. I want to get 3. Wanted to get 3. That was my plan. I said, you know what, let me step it up. And I had it all mapped out so I could do the first one just to kind of see where I'm at with the competition. I'm racing an age group now instead of open, so it's a little more challenging. The competition is definitely a lot more intense, but I like that. It's just a way to keep pushing myself and to see what I'm actually made of, what I have the discipline to accomplish. And there's just something about it that keeps me coming back and wanting to do more with it. But Spartan, as far as my mental health, it actually came into my experience at a time where I was kind of down. This was 2014, I want to say. And we're talking about, I was doing a job that I had been doing for a few years, and I was just not in the best place with it. I wasn't getting all that I wanted to out of the position, wasn't seeing the kind of success I wanted to see. The struggles with the family and with my mom and her mental health issues were still kind of going on too. And there's so many different stories that were happening, converging at this particular point. And it's like I needed an outlet, or I needed something to help give me that jolt, or to help, I don't know, propel me to whatever my finish line could be. And Spartan, it seemed like it was it. Just this whole idea of you put yourself through this pain and punishment, but just that feeling you get on the other end was so compelling to me. So anyways, I ended up doing some more research in it, and I found out that the founder, the CEO of Spartan Race, had written a book called Spartan Up. And I was like, man, I want to get that book. I thought about it for a little bit, never ordered it, but I ended up getting surprised coming home one day after work, and I see this unmarked package leaning up against the apartment door. And my name is on the package. It doesn't have a return address or anything like that, so I don't know who it's from. I didn't think I ordered anything recently, and I was pretty sure I hadn't, except for some tires for my car, and they weren't gonna fit in a little package like this. But anyway, I get the package, open it up, and it's the book. In fact, shoot, give me 1 second. Man, where'd I put that thing? I knew I had it on the shelf, but I went to the wrong one. But anyway, it was this right here. Spartan Up, a Take No Prisoners Guide to Overcoming Obstacles and Achieving Peak Performance in Life. So there's already a combination here, or a correlation here, where the CEO realized that it's not just about these races and these obstacles, but there's things that you can translate to your life. And that was so appealing to me. I read through the book, I ate it up, and I found some motivation. And it was really cool. That's what drove me to say, you know what, I'm trying to get these trifectas. I want to keep doing that because the feeling that I get from dedicating time and energy to being disciplined enough to do these races is something that I want to have, not just in those races, but in the rest of my experience. So that's where we are. And last weekend, I started my quest for the triple trifecta, the trifecta this year, Notre Dame with the sprint. And it was a pretty good race, too many stairs. We ran the entire stadium up and down many times, and I don't want to do that again, at least in that format. But that's a challenge, so maybe we'll have to come back to it later. But anyways, the Spartan season for me has officially begun. And this past weekend, I was way over on the other side of Michigan to do the Super, which was going to be outside, more of a trail run. That's kind of more of what I had trained for. So I was definitely more ready for that. 7 miles of awesome. But there was something that happened getting down towards the end of the race. You know, I hadn't failed any obstacles, got the spear throw down, managed not to slip off of anything, grip strength good, everything was good. But it's the running part. Like I said, I'm not really a big fan of running, and it's the hardest thing to train as a result. I ended up taking a break after the 6 mile mark. I slowed down and started walking. It was about 6.5 miles. I was checking it on my watch, and I knew we were supposed to be getting close to the finish line, but I didn't know how far away it was. So I said, let me just take a breath here. Even though I know I'm at 6.5 miles, I'll catch my breath and then I'll pick it up again. But there was another runner who ended up catching up to me. And as he was passing me, he said, hey man, come on, we're this close to finish. There's less than a half a mile left. You got this. Don't take a break now. And immediately that fire was sparked, right? And this, I just started running again. And I was like, you know what? Thanks, man. I told him, thanks, man. I needed that. I appreciate you for that. And I kept on running. It's almost reflex. It's funny because it turns out I still did have energy left. It turns out that I was actually selling myself short. I didn't need to take a break there. I didn't need to rest there, even though I felt like I was tired and felt like I didn't have much in the tank anymore. I still had something there. I still had it there. And sure enough, it really wasn't even another half mile, and we get around the corner. There's one last obstacle, and there was a finish line, and there we are jumping over the fire. Spartan's motto is, you'll know at the finish line. And I love that motto. The interesting thing about these Spartan finish lines is that they make you want to do more. You feel satisfied that you completed the race for sure, but it doesn't stop there, because you look back and almost immediately you start thinking, man, did I have more in the tank? Could I have given more? Well, when's the next opportunity that I can try to give more and see what else I've got? to see what's the next obstacle or the next racing challenge that you can overcome. So that in mind, I ended up driving, it's 3.5 hours to get from there back to here. And as soon as I got back, I started looking up races, because now suddenly, as crazy as it sounds, a triple trifecta is not good enough anymore. I want 4. And it's already July. All right. So we're not talking about so many months left in the year. But I said, man, if there's any way that I can squeeze these dates out and squeeze these races out so I can get 4 trifectas instead of 3 this year, that's what I want to do. And the incredible thing about that is, just thinking about it now, is that'll be a total of 12 races, which would successfully completing them mean that I would have run more races in 2022 than I have in my entire Spartan career, which I think is 7 before this year. So it's crazy what it makes you do, and just kind of that boost that it gives you, right? And I actually just finished organizing, before getting on to make this video, organizing the races, figured out which places I can go. The calendar seems to look pretty good. I have a shot. I got a shot at getting 4 this year, and I'm excited, man. There's just something about it. And it got me thinking, true to what the author was saying in the book Spartan Up, it's not just about the race, but it's also about life too. We are in a race of life. Even the Bible talks about this concept. And when you're talking about the attempts in this race of life, striving for better for yourself, whether it's the physical, whether it's the spiritual, whether it's the mental health aspect, there have been a lot of people who have helped me and encouraged me and have been that guy in the race, catching up to me from behind and seeing that I'm slowing down, realizing that I still have more in the tank, and being willing to say, hey man, you got this. Keep pushing through. The finish line is up here somewhere. You have what it takes. Keep running. You got this. Don't stop now. And there's been a lot of you that have been that for me, and I want to thank you for that. Especially in this time now, I think of how draining the family situation can be sometimes. And the many times where I felt like I don't have the energy for this, and it impacts the other areas of your life too. It's unavoidable. But a lot of you have helped me to see that I have more in the tank than I thought I did. You've helped me to see that I have more in the tank than I thought I did. And I appreciate all of you for that. So I'm trying to use this platform and this video to encourage those of you out there who feel like you're running out of energy and you're done running. You don't want to do it. You feel the cramps coming on. You don't know where the finish line is. You feel like you've been running for so long already, and you're just done. You're tired of it. You don't want any more. But I'm going to tell you to keep pushing. I'm going to tell you that you have more in the tank than you think you do. You have the energy. It's there, and you made it this far, right? Keep pushing, and you'll get through to that finish line. And not only that, but there's going to be multiple others who are going to help and encourage you to keep on going, to keep on pushing through so you can make it to that finish line. And I hope that whenever you do cross your finish line, you find that little inspiration too, realizing, you know what, that wasn't as bad as I thought it was. Or maybe there were things that I can look back on and learn and improve from, and step my game up even more, realize that I'm capable of so much more than I thought I was. And to take that and to continue to embrace the challenges that life will continue to throw at you, that's a guarantee. Challenges aren't going anywhere. But our mentality and our perspective on things can change and adjust and help us be better equipped. The same way that I can go from training and being ready for a 5K, if I keep those principles together, I'll be ready for a 10K. And over time, Lord have mercy, 3 months time, if I keep up the training and if I keep working those things day by day, step by step, I'll be ready for the 21K. There's always going to be another race. And we do have what it takes to run those next races and those next challenges too. So hey, I've taken up enough of your time. I got to go book these races, especially before the prices go up. So I'll catch you in the next one. Yo. It's the Buff Missionary, and we out.